Welcome to our info session on the Master of Biotechnology program. I'm Sai-Ching Shi, and I'm the Academic Coordinator and GSAO for the MBT program. And joining us today is Kathy Xiao, our program's Internship Manager and GSAO. We also have some great students who are joining us as well and have generously volunteered their time to help answer your questions. So if you have any questions that come up as I'm presenting, feel free to use the Q&A feature to ask your questions, and they'll be able to help answer them. We'll also have dedicated time after our presentation to answer your questions live as well. So the structure of our info session for today will be, pretty straightforward. I'll go over our program, followed by a walkthrough of the application process, and then finishing with a Q&A session where we'll answer some of your questions live. And as I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions during this info session, please use the Q&A feature to ask your question. And also, if you would like to get to know some of our current students' perspectives, you can also feel free to ask those questions in the Q&A, and our students can help answer them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with an overview of our program. So, as you've probably heard a bunch of times today already, our campus is located in the SF Bay Area, and we're only a short, about 30-minute drive away from SF. And you can see in the image here, the beautiful Bay Area weather with the SF Bay and SF in the background. And you can see here, our campus is located right here in the foreground. And our campus has, the really nice benefit of being located at the heart of biotech innovation and within a major hub of life science research with 5 major research institutions located here in the Bay Area. And, in this image here, you can see we're located right here on the East Bay. So from startups to multinational companies, we're surrounded by hundreds of biotech companies. And across the Bay in South SF, there are over 200 biotech companies. And on our side of the Bay, there is the Berkeley Emeryville Biocollective, which is comprised of over 150 biotech companies. And right here on campus, we have the Baker Bioingenuity Hub, which is host to biotech startups founded by faculty, graduate students, and postdocs. And in the Bay Area alone, there are over 60,000 life science employees and also plenty of financial support, both from the federal government as well as from many venture capital firms. So like one of the really great things about studying at UC Berkeley is that we have the benefit of being intimately connected to a major hub of biotech and life science innovation. And our department helps to fuel this innovation as it ranks among the top molecular and cell biology programs in the US with high impact, innovative research led by world-class faculty. And our department's strength also comes from our diverse body of faculty, grad students, and postdocs that come from all over the world. And the research topics that our labs cover span the breadth of modern biology, pushing the envelope of our understanding of the field and driving innovations through such discoveries as checkpoint inhibitors for cancer immunotherapy and CRISPR-Cas9 for gene editing. So I pursue a Master of Biotechnology degree. Biotech is a multi-billion-dollar industry with sustained investment of over $20 billion each year since 2021, highlighting the continued excitement for innovative and pioneering therapeutics and technologies. For example, some of you might be familiar with like GLP-1 receptor agonists, cancer immunotherapies, CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing, as well as applications of AI to accelerate drug discovery. And so, this multifaceted nature of biotech business really creates this unique need for people who not only have the skills working in the lab and can understand the science, but also have a keen understanding of the business and regulatory aspects of the industry as well. So our program aims to position you to be competitive as you launch your career along your desired trajectory, whether that is as a product manager, clinical trial coordinator, a regulatory compliance officer, or as research associates or running core facilities. And so our goal is to act as a stepping stone as you prepare for the next stage of your career by strengthening your scientific and academic record through a mixture of practical training and hands-on coursework. And we offer in-depth courses at the high caliber that UC Berkeley is known for, with the aim of strengthening both your technical skills and conceptual understanding of biology. And then that way you're prepared to jump into an industry career or apply for graduate school or also apply for medical school. And we're super excited to say that, our first cohort graduated just this past spring, and we already have graduates working in biotech, some of whom have actually converted their spring internships into full-time positions. We also have other graduates who are now researchers in academia and others who have successfully gotten into PhD programs and medical school as well. And so our goal is really to, continue to create these types of opportunities for you all and then position you to be successful in your future pursuits. And we also encourage and welcome our master's students to apply for our own PhD program in MCB here at Berkeley. And so to help you achieve your goals, we provide you with hands-on training in the form of, core lab courses, lectures, electives, and seminars. And through this hands-on training, you'll begin to form a strong technical and theoretical foundation of biology. We then build upon that foundation through our internship program, where we provide you with the opportunity to work in a real lab setting, whether that is on campus with one of our biotech partners. And the goal of these two components is really to, not only teach you all to, think like scientists and to approach modern biological questions creatively and with an eye for their therapeutic potential, but also to give you the opportunity to apply what you've learned in a real world setting through your internships. And all of this is complemented with multiple career mentorship opportunities in order to help you identify and prepare for your next steps, as well as to help you achieve your career goals. And our program is a 1-year accelerated program with courses starting in early July. In the summer, you will take an intensive molecular and cell biology lab bootcamp that will bring you up to speed on key techniques used in modern biomedical research. This is then followed by lab, lecture, and elective courses in the fall, which broaden your experimental and theoretical skill set by training you in bioinformatics and also offering additional courses for you to pick from. In your last semester, you will take on an internship and capstone project where you will work in a local biotech company or campus lab or facility. And in order to complete your degree, you will need to have taken 30 units of classes consisting of core lab courses, lectures, and elective courses. You will need to have also completed the required internship and capstone project degree requirements as well. So going into the specifics of our program's coursework, in the summer, you start by taking the first part of a CRISPR gene editing, stem cell, and genomic analysis lab, which trains you on CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing, stem cell culture, and key molecular biology techniques. And so this intensive course allows you to get hands-on experience in crucial techniques commonly used in biomedical research, and then complements that hands-on training with lectures covering the theoretical and practical basis of those techniques. This course is also set up to train you to begin thinking like a scientist, where the experiments you perform are guided by sort of like this big picture question, which then forms the foundation for all of the smaller questions that you will tackle in the course. And then that way you not only understand the scientific concepts that underpin each experiment, but also begin to understand how to frame your hypotheses and conclusions with respect to that big picture question. And so shown here are just some beating cardiomyocytes that our students differentiated in culture, during their summer lab course. And so that's, kind of like a fun, cool little sneak preview of one of the cool things that you'll be able to do during the summer lab course. And so in the summer course, you will have generated like a lot of data, including your own transcriptome data set. And in part 2 of the CRISPR gene editing course, you will analyze the data that you've collected and also perform bioinformatics analysis on your own transcriptome data set. And this course is complemented by more professionally oriented courses. The first of which is designed to prepare you for job and internship applications, and also to give you the opportunity to explore the variety of career paths that you can take. We also have a second professionally oriented course, which introduces you to the breadth of the biotechnology field. This course covers the business of biotech, its regulatory framework, as well as the range of therapeutic topic areas. And lastly, you will be able to choose an elective course to broaden your knowledge of topics that you're interested in. So in the fall, you will continue to, grow your experimental skill set while receiving professional training and also continuing to expand on your conceptual understanding of biology. And in your last semester, you will take a sample management, drug discovery, and lab automation course, which is sort of like this short, intensive modular course with a hands-on element that will also introduce you to the processes and regulatory framework that take a drug from target identification to clinical trials to the patient. And in the spring, you will also take internship and capstone project courses where you and your cohort, come to campus on Fridays to discuss your internships and also to support one another as each of you takes on your own internship project. And so that brings us to the signature component of the MBT program, which is the spring semester internship. And so your internship will take place at a local biotech company or campus lab or facility. And what makes our internship program unique is that we establish partnerships with biotech companies in the Bay Area who then create internship positions that you as a student in our program can apply for. And in this way, our aim is to lower the activation barrier to getting a coveted internship position and also help you get your foot into the door and begin building up your professional network. And the timeline is that in your fall semester, you will apply for internship positions with one of our partners. And as you apply, we arrange for representatives to come talk about their company's work. And so that way you'll have an opportunity to hear from them and also connect with them as you apply. Our partners will then screen and select you for an internship position, which will begin in the spring. During your internship, you will perform full-time research under the supervision of an internship mentor. And, we'll continue to keep in contact with both you and your internship mentor in order to, regularly check in on your progress and to make sure things are progressing well and that you will meet your desired goals for your internship. And then the work that you do, during your internship will then culminate into a capstone report and presentation that you will give towards the end of the spring semester. And so just to give you all a little sampling of some of our partners, I have shown here a selection of some of our biotech partners on this slide. And so our, biotech partners' missions range from drug discovery to therapeutics, from bioinformatics to using AI to accelerate the development of new and more effective therapeutics as well. And if your goal is to use our, program as a stepping stone towards a PhD, I recommend that you explore our department's amazing faculty, some of whom are shown on this slide. Our department's faculty, do some really exciting work, from the basic biological research, that is the field that drives discovery and innovation, to more translational research with the goal of advancing human health. And if you have any questions on internships, you can always feel free to email our program office at mbt@berkeley.edu, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. And to, prepare you for the next step of your career, we provide a variety of opportunities for you to plan and prepare for your future careers. Our coursework gives you a chance to practice your communication skills, polish up your resume, and practice for interviews, all the while providing you with the space to explore the breadth of the biotechnology field. And we incorporate into our program opportunities to visit biotech companies. So that way you get a chance to see the really cool work that they do. And we also have networking events where you get to mingle with company reps and learn about internship opportunities, as well as their company's work and missions. And our master's advising office and our program's career advisor is also here to help assist you as you set your career goals and map out your next steps. And also as a student here at UC Berkeley, you will have access to extensive campus and departmental resources too. So our program, not only helps to strengthen your academic and technical background, but also prioritizes your career development as well. Our program fee for the 2026 to 2027 academic year is currently estimated to be $75,000. And this fee covers all campus fees with the exception of the student health insurance fee, which you do have the option to waive. And if you have questions about fees, feel free to email our program office at mbt@berkeley.edu. One thing to note is that financial support is available, and we encourage you to explore your financial aid options from campus aid to federal or international grants and student loans, with new federal regulations, providing additional loan options for professional degree-seeking students. And as a graduate student here at Berkeley, you also have the option to apply for different awards and also teaching assistantships. And if you are selected for one, that can help partially cover the program fee as well. For housing, there's on-campus and off-campus housing options available to you. And one thing to note is that most graduate students at Berkeley opt to live off-campus. UC Berkeley also provides resources for students to find housing, whether that is on campus or off campus. And no worries if you aren't able to copy all the links. A recording of our info session will be available through our program website, just in case you've missed anything. And I've listed here also, other housing options where you can find off-campus housing through local listings on places such as Craigslist or Zillow. And international students also have the option to apply to live at the UC Berkeley International House. And I've also just included a link here where you can find more information on that. And so once you accept our offer of admission, we connect you all with one another. And then that way you can work together with your cohort to find housing and roommates. Now, if you feel like, our program aligns well with what you want to get out of your graduate studies, I'll now go over our admissions timeline, application process, and requirements, just to help you, make things a little bit easier for you and to, help you create a more competitive application too. Okay, so our program's admissions timeline is shown here. And one thing to note is that applications are currently open, and the application deadline is January 15th, 2026 at 8:59 p.m. Pacific time. After applications close, we will then send out interview notices in late January, and it will be a Zoom or virtual interview. And we send out interview notices to select applicants. So you want to keep an eye out in your email inbox for interview notices shortly after applications close. After we've conducted Zoom interviews, we'll send out all offers before the end of February, and you will have until April 15th to accept our offer. One thing to note is that for international students, we strongly recommend that you let us know that you've accepted our offer as soon as you can or as soon as you're ready. And then that way, there's enough time for you to get your visa processed. And so before you apply, you'll want to review our admissions requirements and make sure that you're able to satisfy them. And for your convenience, I've gone ahead and summarized them here on this slide. And you're welcome to apply, if your undergraduate degree is not in biological sciences or a related field. Regardless of your major field of study, we recommend that you demonstrate to us in your application your readiness to take on our program's coursework. And you could do so through, taking the required courses through your undergraduate institution or at a community college or through your previous research or work experience as well. And if you have any questions, about our requirements and whether or not your specific situation meets them, please reach out to us through our program email, and we can help advise you on your specific situation. Okay. And once you're ready to, begin your application, you'll want to go to the Graduate Division application portal. And I have, for convenience, the link is shown here. And you can also find the link on our website. And as well, you can find it on the Graduate Division website too. And if this is your first time applying for, graduate study here at UC Berkeley, you'll want to create an account to start a new application. Please note that there is a non-refundable application fee of $135 for US citizens or permanent residents, and that application fee is $155 for all others. And this application fee goes directly to the graduate division, so it's not something that we have any control over. There are options available, though, if you want to request a fee waiver, and you can find, information on that through this link from the graduate division. And so something to keep in mind is that you'll need to either have a waiver or have paid your application fee for your application to be considered complete. And after you create your account, you'll be greeted with some introductory pages at the start of the application. And once you get through those introductory pages, you'll be directed to select your intended program of study, as you can see here. And you'll want to remember that our program's admit term is summer 2026. So if you select any other term, you will not be able to find our program under the dropdown for select program. So again, you want to make sure that you select summer 2026 as the admit term, and then you'll be able to find our program under the select program dropdown menu. And once you select our program, a little note will appear here to remind you that our application deadline is January 15th, 2026. So you'll just want to keep that in mind as you're working on your application. And then you'll go through, additional pages where you'll fill out your personal information, your background information, and then you'll be asked to provide your academic history as shown here. And so this is where you will list the undergraduate institutions that you've attended or are currently attending, as well as any associated academic records. And for your applications, you can feel free to upload unofficial transcripts, but once you've accepted our offer of admission into our program, you will have to provide official transcripts to the graduate division for verification. If there are courses that you're currently taking that don't show up on your transcript yet, please be sure to enter them in the appropriate field as indicated here. And this is especially important if these are courses that allow you to meet our minimum admissions requirements. And then here on this page, you'll be prompted to provide your GPA. If your GPA is on a 4.0 scale, you can provide your advanced GPA in this field here. And if your transcript doesn't show your major GPA or GPA for courses in major field of study, you can just leave this one blank here. And if your GPA is not on a 4.0 scale, you can just feel free to leave these three fields blank. We don't need you to convert your GPA to a 4.0 scale. Now you'll have reached sort of like the recommendation section of your application as shown here. We request that you have two letter writers who can submit letters of recommendation on your behalf. And please note that letters must be submitted through the application portal. Your letter writers should be able to speak to your academic and professional abilities, and it's best if your letter writer is your research advisor, a professor that taught a course that you've attended, or a recent employer or supervisor. And so your letters are, important to help the admissions committee better understand who you are, adding an additional perspective so that, we're able to judge your application holistically. And just a quick reminder that for our program, right, we only need two letters of recommendation as indicated here. And letters of recommendation, right, must be submitted by your letter writer through the application portal. On this page, you'll be prompted to provide any exam scores. So for international students who have received their degrees in countries whose official language is not English, you will need to provide your evidence of English language proficiency here, either the TOEFL or IELTS, or evidence of at least 1 year of full-time academic coursework from a US university. You'll also need to make sure that you have your official score sent to UC Berkeley as well. The GRE and GRE subject tests are optional, so if you don't have them, that's totally okay. And if you do want to upload it, we welcome you to do so. On this page, you'll be prompted to submit two statements as part of your application package. The first is a statement of purpose, and the second is a personal history statement. Both are important to allow the admissions committee to know who you are as a person and to evaluate your potential to succeed in our program. You'll want to keep your statements concise, so your personal history statement should be a maximum of half a page, while your statement of purpose should be a maximum of 1 page. Your statement of purpose should give the committee a picture of your academic background and your future career goals. And it should allow us to understand how our program aligns with your stated interests and allow us to understand your motivations for pursuing an MBT degree here at Berkeley. You can include your experiences working in labs or any academic or research setting, as well as other experiences that have influenced your decision to pursue a master's degree. Your personal history statement provides us with information about who you are and gives us an opportunity to connect with you on a more personal level. And remember, you'll want to keep both of your statements concise, right? So for your personal history statement, that is a maximum half a page. And for your statement of purpose, that's a maximum of 1 page. So here's an MBT specific part of the application. On this page, we just ask you to provide evidence of relevant courses that you've taken. And these are just guidelines. So if your home institution offers kind of like a similar course, but it's not exactly the same, that's totally fine. We understand that, different institutions might offer different types of courses. And organic chemistry is not absolutely necessary. So if you have a strong general chemistry, biochemistry, or physical chemistry background, you can also let us know here as well. And we also encourage you to let us know if you've taken other biology related courses, such as cell biology, genetics, or microbiology, just to name a few examples. And then on the supporting materials page, you're given an opportunity to provide your CV or resume, as well as any publications that you might have or any honors and awards that you have received. So you can feel free to add all of that stuff onto the supporting materials page of your application. Okay, so hopefully this info session has helped you get a better picture of our program and provided you with useful tips on creating a competitive application. If you want to connect with us, feel free to do so through, email as shown here or through our social media pages. So we have a QR code for our LinkedIn page here and a QR code for our Instagram page here. And if you want to explore more of our program, you can also go to our website and you'll find more information there as well. And of course, if you ever have any questions, whether that's, on our program or as you're completing your application, please don't hesitate to email us at mbt@berkeley.edu, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. And if you want to connect with either current students or alumni, also send us an email, and we'll be happy to connect you as well.